Welcome to the June 26th edition of Murders, Monsters, Mysteries, and More. We normally have five co-hosts on this, but Gabriel Fuerza has car issues. Pretty Ricky has scheduling issues. But this is going to be a very hefty episode anyways. This has all been recorded at the same time. So 2 weeks ago, we covered the Martin Luther King assassination. Last week, we covered MK Ultra and the Manchurian Candidate. And also, you're watching this on YouTube, you can sign up for the patreon.com/BrendanC and get this a day early and also the podcast version of it, because let's be honest, you don't have to see us talk. You can just listen to us, join there, but also you get me and Kobe Durst. We are not sober all the time, so for a half an hour we become not sober together, and there's a paywall, so we just talk mad shit. Kobe Durst's girlfriend's involved in it now. She's very opinionated. And now recently, one of the patrons, Justin Zane, has introduced a new challenge. Justin Zane has gone through medical complications due to I believe it's a colon cancer scare. I might be fucking that up, but he had to describe some medical terms. Kobe Durst reads the comments. He couldn't read this. His girlfriend looks it up. And it's a very good time, especially the fact that Justin Zane knew, and it's Justin Zane with a Z, not S. And he knew that Kobe was going to fuck it up, that in the comment that Kobe Durst is reading, he is hearing this man mock him. The comment literally said, I can already picture Kobe struggling to pronounce this word, and I'm laughing. And then Kobe's laughing at him laughing. And then he replies again, and he's introduced a new game. So every Wednesday, we do that Wednesday night. The first Wednesday also, there's a little Zoom call where we just talk shit. We see each other. It's a great time. Join the Patreon. Join the Acolytes of Albright as Uncle Bobby B, who is in the Brendone right now, watching this live as we record it, because we recorded this about 3 weeks ago. There's all these features, and also it's a place to get together, and you'll get way too much content. So you get to cherry pick what you would like. But joining me, as always, and you guys have the distinction now of being on every episode, of Alexia Nicole and Jimmi V. And today, Jimmy is going to take the floor. So what are we talking about today, Jimmy?
Today is Bohemian Grove, also known as the Grovers, which is a political global conglomerate of world leaders, all men. It's a men's only club that basically get together a couple times a year and do weird things, apparently. It's a real thing. It exists. It's in Northern California, right outside of Santa Rosa. It's a giant compound. I think it's 1,200 acres. I brought up some stuff here because I'm not always good at remembering things.
I have a notepad and
yeah, there we go.
A fucking clipboard. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I understand notes.
We've all taken a lot of hits to the head.
Yeah,
it's hard remembering things. But so it's 2,700 acre campground, and it belongs to a private gentleman's club known as the Bohemian Club, and it's been around since 1872. And I'll read the chapter from the book, but I'm just going over some basic info first, just so people are up to speed, because the chapter doesn't really give a lot of details. It just kind of like really quickly glosses over the main point of the conspiracy. So
how about you read the chapter and then
I'll go into stuff. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is one of the first conspiracy theories I ever got into. I was probably about 10, maybe 11, and I had a friend who had an older brother who introduced me to conspiracy stuff, and this was like the one that really caught my attention at the time, as I was a precocious child and very into politics at an early age and that kind of stuff. He also introduced me to Guar. He was a cool dude, I thought. Maybe he really wasn't, though. But so is the chapter here I'll read. So the global elite hold regular covert gatherings in a top secret location to engage in pagan rituals and determine the course of world politics. The Bohemian Club was formed by bored San Francisco journalists in 1872 or 1873, depending on the source. But soon became the preserve of the rich elite when they purchased a redwood forest in Northern California known as Bohemian Grove. This was the site of an annual camping get-together where 2,000 exclusively male business, political, and media leaders came to relax, let their hair down, and forget about their worries. Camp, quote unquote, is something of a euphemism as Grovers, quote unquote, hardly roughed it at the campsites were equipped with bars, hot tubs, and the like. The club's motto was "Weaving spiders come not here." So basically, you're not allowed to talk shop. It's just more hobnobbing, if anything. So what the theory
Bobby B
is?
in the chat did mention sexual acts, so there's a lot of knobbing that's probably going on.
Yeah. Oh, I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that stuff. It's at the end of this paragraph, actually. So what the theorists say, Bohemian Grove attendees have included all the major Republic politicians of the last 80 years, including all U.S. presidents since 1923. Though I don't believe Trump was ever part of it. I could be wrong on that one, but I believe he is one of the outliers, because even they didn't want him there. Together, Fortune's top 500 business leaders, heads of global financial bodies such as the World Bank, select foreign leaders, and arch conspiracy figures such as Harry Kissinger, they urinate in the open, dress up in drag, fornicate with prostitutes, and stage a pagan ritual where an effigy is sacrificed to a giant stone aloe known as Mulark. More extreme conspiracy theorists claim the effigy sometimes is replaced by a real person. An article in a local community newspaper, the Santa Rosa Sun, which sounds totally made up, but it's not, it's real, reported on human sacrifices of the Mulark Club being practiced at the Grove, and in the mid-1980s, there were rumors of murders in remote parts of the property, which is the part that got me into it when I was a kid. According to one witness who claims to have been an observer and near victim, which I'll talk about after because it's a pretty cool story. Jesus Christ, lost my spot. The inner sanctum of the Grove contains...
Grab a hold, brother.
I'm back on. The inner sanctum of the Grove contains an underground lounge, a leather room, a dark room, and a necrophilia room.
Oof.
Necrophilia.
I'm gonna pass, but I'm pretty sure that room should be sponsored by Febreze.
Yep.
Up until you said, what was it? Human sacrifices. It didn't sound that bad of a place. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, I mean,
like a fun time.
Other than the NWO.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
Not even the cool Japan one.
Yeah. Remember when Shawn Michaels was in the NWO?
Dude, I just saw a report that Shawn Michaels was supposed to debut with because I'd never watched WCW, but there was a Hummer storyline, and he was one of the potential people, and then it was revealed a year later of it was Eric Bischoff, which was their version of GTV.
Yeah, that's back when I used to subscribe to The Torch.
But no, wait, actually, I did remember. I watched this yesterday of HBK's entrance on Raw as a new member of the NWO.
Yeah. I mean, it only lasted, I think, a couple weeks.
Yeah, but Dutch Boy
when was this?
What's that?
I don't remember at all.
2002.
Yeah.
WWE, WWE, not even WWF at that point.
Yeah. It was after they bought. It was when they tried. Remember when Vince McMahon did the whole chair thing? He's like,
I will inject it with poison.
Yeah, which I guess he kind of did because now it's slowly dying. But that's a different topic.
McMahon started the ratings dwindling himself in February for that November or the No Way Out pay-per-view. Which was a sweet, by the way, that fucking poster where it goes No Way Out and they spray painted the NWO for No Way.
Yeah, it was a cool poster.
Yeah.
Bro, there's so many things that are cool in life that you just have to realize they got lucky.
Oh yeah, man. I remember watching that at home and marking out when he was I'm like, oh shit, NWO is coming to WWE.
Oh yeah, for the record, by the way, we kind of referenced it. If you do not know, and you just stumbled on this video because it's about Bohemian Grove, Jimmi V has been a referee for over 15 years. I want to
around that, on and off, yeah.
Alexia has been a wrestler for almost a decade. Hence the shoulder injury that you can hear about why her shoulder is a little wrapped up 2 episodes ago, and myself also wrestler. So this is why when we're making wrestling references and shit, that's our jam.
Yeah. It all comes back to that because wrestling is everything. It really is. The whole world works on wrestling like structure. Everything's
Donald
a work.
Trump, you mentioned it.
Yeah, this is actually when I was younger and I got really into this. I as also being a huge wrestling nerd, and like was starting to figure out that wrestling wasn't on the up and up. Yeah, this really messed with my head for a long time. It still kind of does every now and then, where I get into these holes where I'm like, nothing is real. Everything's predetermined.
Yeah.
It's all faces and heels.
I think that's maybe why like we've been drawn towards conspiracies and such, for the fact of like something that we enjoyed and loved we knew was fake.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. Like when you delve just underneath the surface and you start to see how it all works, and you're like, oh, it's so fascinating now. Everybody's lying all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing is real. No one's a real person. But anyways, so more importantly, attendees lobby furiously, peddle influence, and choose presidents and Supreme Court judges. Decide where to launch wars, and generally carve up the world. It was here that the Manhattan Project, which led to the development of the atom bomb, was conceived, and it is here that big business cozies up to politics to arrange lucrative government contracts and determine spending priorities. For instance, starting wars from which the military-industrial complex can profit, which really came to prominence in the 1980s during the Reagan era. The official line, according to, officials, is the rituals are simply submasonic play acting. The effigy represents dual care, which is symbolically burned, so a lot of stressed out men can enjoy a fortnight's break with a bit of amateur dramatics. There are speeches on current topics of interest, and there may be some networking, but it's entirely a harmless fun by a bunch of rich men. Of course, that's what they would say. Like, duh.
It's harmless towards the attacker. The victim,
yeah,
a little less harmless.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how paranoid should you be? This is an interesting one.
Is it now
90? I'm 90.
Is it paranoid that like they're doing nefarious things there?
See, that's what I'm wondering, because I do believe that some of the, like, I don't fully subscribe to the necrophilia room and the murders. That stuff's kind of, I think some of this is just fantasy because everybody likes some good fiction. But do I think there's a bunch of rich people hanging out and wheeling and dealing? And wait a minute, I just saw a quote here that I can't see on video, but Jesus Christ, Nixon.
Well, now you got to say something.
I will say, you did say something there about you do not subscribe to the necrophilia room. Subscribe to patreon.com/BrendanC.
Plugs. But yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, wires. Yeah, so it's a hard one. I think he's going by the satanic panic of it.
Okay.
But what do you think?
I mean, a satanic panic, I'm gonna go like 50. I wouldn't be surprised, but like I don't know. I feel like it's more just like world takeover, like business deals, than more than like killing a bunch of people. I mean, there could still be that. Like there are a bunch of rich people and like secluded in an area. Anything.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go with 50.
50? Okay. Yeah. Like if I didn't know what he said on here, I probably would be in the 45 to 50 area myself, because 1872, weird times, people doing weird shit all the time. Possibly, could they have been burning people alive? Probably,
yeah.
Do I think they were doing it in 1980? No. I feel like that's one of those things that probably died out. Do I think that the original idea of it was a pagan ritual to Moloch? Yeah, probably. But again, as time progresses and modernization of things, probably started to separate a bit. Do I think they're fucking prostitutes and dressing up in drag? Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you?
So we'll start with the more lighthearted part and then go into the deeper part, because I'm actually going to share screen, because I was trying to look up, because I know I have seen What happened? Can you guys see this?
I say
nothing
it
yet.
shows that you're started screen
there we
sharing.
go.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah, this dude.
Okay. So, there. I didn't see the meeting
Okay.
controls. So this guy, Mark Dice, his videos from 2015. He has shown. He's showing leaked photos and videos.
Okay.
From
Before we forget this, do you want to know what the paranoid he wrote?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he says 24%. The weird antics at Bohemian Grove probably represent nothing more than a chance for America's elite to relive the summer camp frolics of their youth. But it's inherently undemocratic for the exclusively male ruling class and the world to hobnob in secret with each other, which is pretty much what I think we were getting at there. For instance, George W. Bush regularly hung out there with John J. O'Connor. Husband of Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, who, as a woman, was not allowed to attend the Grove, but whose crucial vote won him the 2000 election. Other attendees have included most members of George W.'s White House staff, including Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, and Colin Powell. Equally suspicious is the remarkable reluctance of mainstream media to report on this bizarre convocation. So that's what he wrote, which is pretty much like what we were guessing, like what we were saying, like probably some dirty shit's happening, and yeah, it's not very democratic or proper, but it's probably actually happening. But they're probably not murdering people and sacrificing them to an owl god named Molark, because Occam's razor even says if it's really cool, it's probably not true.
No.
And this is very much recently. We're pretty sure they're not killing people. This necrophilia room. You can call a room a necrophilia room. That doesn't mean that's what it's used for. It could be a storage closet that you're fucking with people. But when you brought up the lighthearted stuff about the drag, and like, I always heard of like sketchy stuff goes there. And what's weird about me, and like, I'm sure that if we continue doing this for years, we'll talk about Jeffrey Epstein at some point. And like, the reason I'm not surprised that if the Jeffrey Epstein stuff is real is because, and this is how my brain works. In the mid 2000s, Carrot Top once did an interview, and he said that he had so much sex that he couldn't have sex with less than 2 women at a time. And you get to this point that you're just of such of excess that you need to like work through it and go that once you get to this, maybe your sexual fetishes, maybe all this is weird. That I always knew there was weird stuff. I didn't know about the drag stuff, and I have another video kind of showing the cremation ceremony or the ceremony of life. And pardon?
I was going to say to piggyback of what you said, like Jake the Snake Roberts says the same thing in Beyond the Mat. When he was saying, like, you know, one night it's one woman and some cocaine, and the next night it's 2 women and some crack, and the next night it's 4 and some meth, and then it's just meth.
Oof. That's when you know you've gone wrong. When it's just math.
Yeah.
This is from a YouTube channel, Mark Dice. Apparently exclusive leaked photos from inside Bohemian Grove. Never before seen pictures from Mark Dice's copy of the Annals of the Bohemian Grove Yearbook. You can find this videos from July 10th, 2015. Let me go back to sharing this. And you see some photos there of the ceremonies where you see fire, you see like a bandstand kind of thing, and then you do see the drag.
Damn.
Like, I didn't know about this, and it's just like, oh, okay, it's kind of intense because this is the ceremony. And
what is that?
So there's actually some footage of this, and Alex Jones, because Bobby B mentioned that Alex Jones is the first person that introduced him to him. I think a lot of people underestimate how much, I won't say good Alex Jones did, but he revealed a lot of stuff that
early Alex Jones, before he like became a crazy fucker, was great. I used to listen to him with Art Bell.
Well, the FEMA camps and stuff after Katrina.
Yeah, and like when like him and Art Bell used to do really good stuff together. I believe he even hosted Coast to Coast a few times back in the day.
I also realized that's my end goal. I have a tweet that I've just never posted, and I realized this 2 weeks ago. I think in 20 years, I'll be living in Nevada hosting a late night conspiracy radio show. And for anyone that knows what Coast to Coast AM is, you're like, wait, is he trying to become the new Art Bell? I'm not trying to become the new Art Bell. I'll say that much.
There will never be another Art Bell. But
So this is like a drawing or a caricature of the ceremony, and that is a possible giant owl totem that they talk about, and it is like a bunch of people are in hoods. Basically, picture the best Undertaker entrance from WrestleMania ever, and in the middle of the woods. So it's like the Boneyard match plus a great WrestleMania entrance. And there was, because I was scouring for this video because I know Alex Jones did leak something, and it took me forever to find it. And someone even commented on the fact of the cremation of care ritual. Someone did regard, like, there used to be a video of it with millions of views, but it's all very poor quality and stuff because
of course, it's always poor quality.
But this is very much like you see
What
them
was
coming
this
down.
taken with?
A potato.
This was early 2000s, sneaking in a camera and then also being like 200 feet away, where they snuck onto these grounds where all these, even just on the not spooky.
It's like a 4-pixel camera.
Yeah, well, literally it is.
Yeah.
It's all of you even have to just think of not what are they doing there. All of these people have stature that, like, we talked about.
Bill Gates is probably there for sure.
We statted like
one of the Clintons
tragedies where if you drop a bomb in this area, you have dismantled at least America and then other powerful figures from different places. And I'm not plugging InfoWars, but it's there. This was Alex Jones' video from the early 2000s. And you see that like this giant thing's on fire. And I wouldn't be surprised 120 years ago that they just grabbed whatever person or they abducted someone, and especially if they were like a minority or a person of color. They're just this person's life that we talked about last week about. Apparently this whole trend of these tapings is about fucking equality and social rights. And literally as the video goes on, because I'm just trying to skip to the end where you see them lighting it more and more. Whoever produce this, they try to like correct the camera, so there's weird floating stuff on the side, but these are all really affluent people dressed up like what are they called? Druids.
KKK?
No. But like
that's what it looks like.
They're literally shooting fireworks, and like they have sparklers going off. Like this isn't just an amateur presentation. This is like every indie company wants to put on pyro like this. And it is that's the spooky stuff about it, that at some point I wouldn't be surprised if that was a real sacrifice, and not a sacrifice as in, oh, we believe in whatever demon is going to give us the power. It is just a sacrifice of going, we have a lot of power, let's abuse it. And like seeing that where, I'm glad hopefully it's not like that now, but there's definitely a lot of people, they're getting a bunch of drugs, and they're getting a bunch of sex workers. And they're even in it, they've said, oh, it's like a boys' weekend to let loose.
Just boys being boys.
Every time someone lets loose, the only thing stopping from like something becoming a criminal act is charges being pressed.
Yeah.
So how are you, Alexia, how are you feeling about this before Jimmy goes down the rabbit hole of more weirdness?
The video spooked me. I was fine up until that. That creeped me out a lot. I don't like it. It's very culty. I don't like it at all.
It's very culty.
It's very culty.
What is bracket not a cult is the Acolytes of Albright, which is a group chat in the Patreons on patreon.com/BrendanC. I literally, and I told this to Gumby yesterday when we recorded the basketball game. I constantly say that it's not a cult, because I realized something with myself during the pandemic of like, luckily I'm an atheist, which means I wouldn't feel bad using religion for my own personal gain, because I wouldn't think it's blasphemy. I don't think I'd get punished for it after I die. So if I wanted to lead a cult, I'm getting more and more proof by the month with these Patreons. We're 7 away from me doing the Katie Vick promo. And then if we get to 100, I'm doing a full body wax. I don't know if that includes the eyebrows.
I would think it would.
I mean, you can
wax around them.
No. I think it'd be hilarious if I'm walking around with zero body hair. But like
painful.
I also think it's gonna be weird. A, when it's growing in, and then B, just like being that like smooth and shit. I definitely gotta go on a slip and slide the next day. I'm gonna go so far.
You shoot into another time period.
Another town. How am I supposed to get back? So what are some of your other stuff with this was being your first like conspiracy / cult, Jimmy?
What was that first part you said? What?
What are some other things that popped you up because like this is something that you didn't just learn about?
Oh yeah. So when I was younger, it was very much the satanic pagan ritual stuff that I really loved because that's never gone away. That's always been a thing.
What's that tattoo above your left eye?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
It's the alchemic symbol for sulfur and Satan.
No way, you're into this.
Yeah.
It literally says it on your face. It's written on your face.
Yeah, I went to buy weed today, and there's a very lovely woman working who was very cute, and we were talking, and then she's like, "Oh, what's that mean on your head?" And I was like, Satan." Then she asked if I believe in UFOs. So,
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to this a year from now, and Jimmy's gonna be moved in with this weed cashier.
Yeah, she believed in astrology, so that's. No, thank you.
I haven't broken up with my girlfriend for that fact.
Yeah.
Every time it comes up, I'm just like, I don't hold my tongue. I make very much when I mispronounce stuff, and I just go, like fucking Sideshow Bob being hit with a rake. It's just,
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So the security is pretty interesting. As you showed, like there's some people who have been in there. In the summer of 1980, Rick, I'm going to pronounce his last name wrong because it's Clogher. I don't know. He gained entrance to Grove. This is a pretty cool story. Dang. But, he gained entrance to the Grove with the help of an employee and posed as a worker during 2 weekends of the annual encampment. His efforts, the first magazine reporting from inside the Grove, was published in August 81, which is when I was born. Issue of Mother Jones around the same time. ABC Evening News aired a special report on Bohemian Grove. In the summer of 89, Spy magazine writer Philip Weiss spent 7 days in the camp posing as a guest, which led to his November 89 article, Inside the Bohemian Grove. He was eventually discovered and arrested. Alex Jones and his cameraman Mike entered Bohemian Grove and shot footage of the cremation ceremony, which we just watched. Jones claimed it was a ritual sacrifice from his footage, but that's there. I mean, that's a hearsay. You can't. There's no proof that it was.
Also,
you can't just be like, well, that's sacrifice.
I don't think we mentioned it also of like, yeah, we don't think they're sacrificing humans now, but like
no,
they
I
can
know.
still be sacrificing like dogs or pigs or like some sort of living.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people still do. There's still a lot of voodoo. I saw a lot of it when I was in New Orleans. People sacrificing chickens, which as a vegan, I struggle with my love of occultism. But
did the love potion work for you?
Oh, I would never use a love potion. Those are awful. Have you never watched a movie? Did you not see what happened to Xander?
I like that you're whispering.
Did you not see what happened in Shrek?
That is the perfect example of Jimmy and Alexia.
Just reversing Shrek and Buffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It all goes back to this.
But that whisper also of just like, dude, don't fuck with potions. Don't, and like you're very serious. And Alexia's like, yeah, Shrek.
The whole movie was about it. Well, the whole second movie.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, Xander did it twice. Did you catch that episode?
Yeah.
It's terrible. Never goes right. In 2002, Richard Castlin was arrested after his nighttime infiltration in Bohemian Grove, where he set several fires, was heavily armed, wearing a skull mask and outfit with Phantom Patriot right across the chest.
Is he the Punisher?
He wanted to be. There's no one there, though. He went when like there's literally nobody there, which is my favorite part of that story. Like, that's such like such an American thing. So we got into symbols a little bit. We talked about the owl, Monarch, which is where is it here? It's we saw it in the cremation video, that giant sculpture of the owl. It's 30 feet or 9 meters hollow owl statue made of concrete over steel supports. And it stands at the head of the lake in the grove. The statue was designed by sculptor and two-time club president Haig Padigan, who was constructed in the late 1920s. Since 29, the owl shrine has reserved as the backdrop of the yearly cremation of care ceremony. Which is a theatrical production, as we just saw, in which some of the club members participate as actors. It was first conducted in 1881, where they were probably burning people. The production was devised by James F. Bowman with George T. Bromley playing the high priest. It was originally set up within the plot of the serious hijinks dramatic performance of the weekend in the summer encampment, after which the spirit of care, slain by the Jinx hero, was solemnly cremated. I guess I should go into that too. Sorry, the patron saint of the club is John of Nepomuk, who, according to legends, suffered death at the hands of a Bohemian monarch rather than disclose the confessional secrets of the queen. A large wood carving of St. John in cleric robes with his index finger over his lips, stands at the shore of the lake in the grove, symbolizing the secrecy kept by the grove's attendees throughout its long history. Because I've always suspected, I can't see it anywhere, but I've read before, and even I have a suspicion that this goes way back to probably like Druidian times. Like, I would say this is probably pre-Roman.
This Da Vinci Code, like Knights of Templar, like it goes on and on and on. Shit.
Oh yeah, before Knights of Templar were near the end of the Roman era, and like, I think this goes right back to Druidian periods with secrecies and sacrifices, and just like how they structured their politics. The little bit that we do know, unfortunately, Druids never kept records. They didn't believe in writing anything down. But what we have gathered from like Roman historians, which that info is always a little iffy, is that basically, sacrifices and rituals like this is what kept their politics running. It's what kept their world going, because people were dumb back then, and now because
people are dumb.
I think it's a human.
I is dumb.
Thing.
I'm like We Are Weasel and like that cartoon, like Cow and Chicken.
Oh, so good. I love Cow and Chicken, but but
not to eat because you're a vegan.
And they're cartoons. But like, I think it goes back very far into world history. I believe it goes back to, like, I think Alexander the Great had a big role in things like this when he was taking over all of the Middle East and Europe at that time. And I think it's just continued on and on and on. I think it played a huge part in the British monarchy, which brings us now to when America started, I believe, and it kept going, and then it became more official, I guess, with Bohemian Grove, as it became a dedicated thing for world leaders to get to. Whereas before, I suspect it probably wasn't such a dedicated secret meeting, because back then nobody gave a shit. Richard Nixon does have a quote, a comment from his May 13th, 1971 recording. I won't say the actual word, but it was, the Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, it is the most F-word goddamn thing you could ever imagine. And F-word, I don't mean fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That one took me a second.
Yeah. Because he probably was talking about the drag. Probably a lot of gay sex. Probably a lot of underage gay sex, as I would imagine as well. So the all-male membership includes artists, musicians, as well as many business prominent leaders, government officials, former U.S. presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. As I said earlier, members may invite guests to the Grove. Guests may be invited to the Grove for either the spring hijinks in June, which is coming up, or the May and July encampment. Bohemian Club members can schedule private day use events at the Grove anytime it is not being used. They're allowed to bring spouses, family, and friends, though female and minor guests must be off the property by 9 or 10 p.m. After 40 years of membership, the men earn Old Guard status, giving them reserved seating at the Grove's daily talks, which is probably the NWO aspect of it. I believe there's a lot of spring hijinks and stuff where, they have just random people, and it is just picnics and summer camp things for rich white people, because let's face it, it's all rich white people.
I feel like you should not take part in hijinks if you're over the age of 13. Then it becomes shenanigans. But like that 10 p.m. get the fuck off the property. I've started to realize, like, so me and Furs actually talked about like early morning workouts, and like you work out whenever the fuck you want to. That doesn't matter. But I enjoy training for like wrestling training 10 a.m. Sundays, because if we're in full swing of things for have a show Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that Sunday show, if you wrestled everywhere else, you're going to Ottawa on Friday, or if you're doing like Chicago Friday, Ottawa Saturday, and then Hamilton on Sunday, you're not going to be at 100%. So if you get used to training at 10 a.m. when you don't want to, you'll be into it. But then also, I know me, I work like late hours, so I'm not up too late. I'm waking up in these weird hours where everyone's high off of crack. Sorry, Brampton. But it is I don't trust myself when it gets darker outside. And 10 p.m., no women there, just a bunch of dudes, and especially dudes that are prideful in being a part of an old guard. Like, no, dudes make the dumbest decisions. A girl can never say, I wonder if my penis can fit in that.
No.
A guy will think that and then find out. So 10 p.m., hijinks, you're too old for hijinks. Too many white males in one room. Oof.
Yeah, so I mean, it pretty much that, I guess that covers a lot of it. For most reasons, like I can't think of too much more. So
I think we have discussed a lot that like the next time we do this, we will do like a full Bohemian Grove episode. We'll all bring in examples, and this is when we're in a room. Like literally, I picture this as like a debate room kind of thing where there's a round table, there's a TV over there. I everything I do, it starts at level 1 because I see the grand picture and I reel it back in. And luckily in the pandemic, we've had Zoom, so we've had downtime that we can record this. But I mentioned this on one of the earlier episodes. I want us to have a show on YTV. That's the goal. I want to be the new age mystery hunters. That's why it's like Scooby-Doo themed. But we'll tag this for later on and go into the June 26 facts. So on this day, June 26 in 1963, and once again, this is how all of these facts just intermingle into each other, from Martin Luther King on the first taping to the MK Ultra to this of like, hey, maybe the government might have killed this guy. Hey, this is how they brainwash people. Hey, here's how they planned it. We talked about the Berlin Wall on one of the previous episodes. And in 1963, U.S. President John F. Kennedy, before he passed away, holds his iconic Ich bin in Berliner speech. The speech was a welcome gesture of support for the people of West Berlin. East Germany had erected the Berlin Wall just 2 years earlier to stop mass immigration to the West. And then fast forward to that fact from the other episode of tear down that wall. So it's a good little back and forth there. In 1945, the United Nations Charter is signed. The United Nations is the world's most important international organization. Calm down there, a little too cocky. In June 26, 1936, the world's first practical helicopter lifts off. The twin rotator Focke-Wulf FW-61 was first tested in Bremen, Germany. None of the first prototypes survived World War II, but a replica can be seen in Birkenberg, Germany. See, they did say the museum, but it's like one word, and once again, it's one of those like Wheel of Fortune letter kind of situation that I didn't even want to try. In 1925, Charlie Chaplin's film The Gold Rush receives its premiere. The comedy featuring Chaplin and his famous Little Tramp role is a classic of the silent film genre. The English actor repeatedly say that this is a film he wants to be remembered for. In 1906, the first Grand Prix car race is held. The competition was held on a circuit around Le Mans, France. Well, I don't know what happened there. France, and organized by the Automobile Club de France. That's where it comes in. Yeah. Renault Frenick, SZISZ. It's 5 letters and only 3 different letters. It is the same thing. It's one of those things where race car is spelled the same way backwards and forwards. That fucked me up. And births on this day in June 26, 1980, American football player Michael Vick was born. Let's not talk about why we know that name and not because I like football. June 26, 1961, Greg LeMond, an American cyclist, is born. 1942, Gilberto Gil, Brazilian singer, songwriter, guitarist, politician. And in 1909, Colonel Tom Parker, Dutch American talent manager. I'm pretty sure he was like abusive, right?
I think so.
I also realized
Yeah.
Was there a WCW referee named Colonel like Robert Parker or something?
Wasn't he I thought he was a manager.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I meant WCW
Yeah.
manager.
Yeah.
And he managed Jeff for like a little bit in WWF.
That's right.
Deaths on this day, though. June 26, 1975. Jose Maria Escrivera, Spanish priest saint, founded Opus Dei. I don't know what that is.
Opus Deus?
Okay. Yes. I know like kind of Deus Ex, so different mind. This person died before any of us were born also. 1957, Alfred Doblin, a German writer. 1856, Max Stirner, German philosopher. In 1830, George IV of the United Kingdom. I'm assuming that's a king, but it doesn't have a subline, very much like I mentioned about Josh's matches at Union. And 1810, Joseph Michael Montgolfier, a French inventor, co-invented the hot air balloon. That's kind of a fun fact. And then but this was a great recording session. Thank you so much, Jimmy and Alexia, for sticking with the whole recording.
No problem.
Next week's episode, I don't know what I'm going to do because our next recording is going to be July 5th if we're available and switching that around, which also, once again, be a part of the Brendone on Patreon of the meal tier and higher. You get to be involved. You get it early. You get to interact with us. And you get after we're done recording between the episodes, we're still bullshitting. We're still talking about some stuff before we head out. So,
And do we say some stuff?
Dude,
Yes, we do.
Okay. So no one wants to say this, but like some people want a Patreon so that they can make money, but they don't want to be greedy so that they put that dollar tier. I thought about bills and then I didn't know about Canadian for $7 and $24 and then $67. I meant $5, $25, and $50, where I was thinking about what's the smallest bill. If I'm a stripper in Canada, what's the lowest you can tip me? $5. And here's the thing, though. No, you're a piece of shit if you're tipping a stripper.
You throw tooties?
No, you put it in your mouth.
When you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, all of these like little bonus things, I am editing out what Jimmy just described. It is worth the paywall. The paywall is basically the version of, it's not don't talk shit. It's we're going to talk shit. Let's have a place to put that shit talking. So that is why you should go to patreon.com/BrendanC. You get all of this. It'll be enjoyable. And also all the plugs are about to come up that we recorded 2 episodes ago. Please support.
I just want to say it's not offensive or terrible things we say. It's just raunchy and not
everyone
for everybody's taste.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. I just want to put it out there that
It's not bad.
we're not assholes.
Yeah.
We're not dicks.
Yeah. We just talk about dicks.
Yeah. A lot.
And what'd you say, Libya or Livius?
Livius.
I was closer the first time and then fucked it up. But yeah, please support Alexia Nicole. Please support Jimmy, talented artist, talented professional wrestler. Unfortunately, Alexia has a damaged wing right now. But Jimmy can whatever you want to do. You want to have a cool photo, you want to do some animations, you want him to animate your music video. And Bobby B is laughing at me for my pronunciation. I'm out there. Okay, cool. The plugs are about to come. Please join us next week. I don't know what we're doing, but we're doing that, and join us next month for the Zoom call. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just have fun, stay safe, staying healthy, and pursuing happiness. So Jimmy, Ricky, and then Alexia, give your plugs. And you all, besides like Ricky doing the podcast, you have stuff that you're actually selling. So please support them if you enjoy this. Jimmy, go ahead.
All right. I got my Instagram, Art by Jimmy, I think it is. No, it's Jimmy _ sketches. There's too many. Jimmy _ sketches is my Instagram, which I update frequently. You can hit me up on there for my commissions, which I have a price list up now. And every now and then I have prints when I'm not lazy. You can also check out my art station, which is my actual portfolio, which is Jimmy Vandalay. And I think that's pretty much it for me. Yeah.
You are looking to do commissions. You can find a rough outline of what it will cost on your Instagram, which is great because most people it's messaged me for rates. You actually have given them a rough outline.
Yeah. Those are base rates. They can vary, but I mean, I'm bad at charging money. It's terrible. But yeah, you can hit me up on there. I'm booked till probably end of the month right now, but the sooner you let me know things, the sooner I can
Buy
pencil
ice
you
cream.
in. And buy ice cream and my dog food.
Ricky, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the social media sites at ProWildy, PROWILLDY. I also have a podcast called The Blackballed Podcast. You can find that on all your favorite podcast platforms at The Blackballed Podcast. We recently did a death match. You can check that out on YouTube, The Blackballed Death Match. And I'm currently promoting Hot Boy Summer. So, I'm wearing a headband. I'm wearing yellow glasses more than ever. I've been doing cardio in my underwear in the sunlight. So, get into it. It's Hot Boy Summer. We're having a good summer.
I am all about the Hot Boy Summer.
It's Hot Boy Summer.
Wax and vaxxed.
Waxed and vaxxed.
That snuck up on me. Not gonna lie. And Alexia, where can they find you and support you?
You can find me on Instagram at Alexia Nicole, on Twitter at It's Alexia Nicole. I have a Big Cartel store, so believe the URL is Alexia Nicole Wrestler / bigcartel.com. I've got 8x10s. I've got shirts. I've also got a pro wrestling tee store, which is pwtees.com / bubblegum. If you see a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees and you want to buy it directly from me, message me. I might have it in your size. Let me know. But yeah, those are all my things. I'm not working right now due to obvious reasons, but so if you could support, that'd be really great. Thank you.
I love that your Italian is in competition with your fucked up shoulder. So it feels like your right hand motions when you talk are exaggerated because your left arm doesn't. Your left arm's like, I want to move.
My left hand is literally like moving around as I talk, but like it's just on my lap. I can't do anything.
It's just like what was it? It from not Cousin It, but like the hand from the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Dang, that's it.
So is this like the Italian version of Bell's palsy? You can only talk out of like the one side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Ricky, did you think that this was going to be the podcast that gets you canceled, not blackballed?
Hey, I'll tell you an honest story. We talked about John Cena, China, and Taiwan last week on the podcast, and we've got like maybe an eighth of the views that we usually get. So I'm not saying that we don't put out a terrible product, because we also do, but I was really thinking that might have like come across some search engines. So I think I'm in the process of being canceled. I don't know. But yeah,
shadow canceled Pretty Ricky.
Legitimately. So you honestly might want to block out and mute when I say China and Taiwan so that it doesn't happen to your podcast. But yeah, that's something I experienced. So
saying China, Taiwan is they track that, you think?
Like, I'm assuming they're not watching the actual hour-long podcast that I put out with the stupid crap we're saying. So I'm figuring out that there's some algorithm where they hear China and Taiwan go off in a sentence, and then they do. Like, I know for one of my favorite podcasts, if somebody says the N-word, it's a stand-up comedy podcast. Even if it's a black guy, it doesn't matter. It immediately gets pulled. And it's just because the algorithm dings off that it was said and it's pulled. So I assume that it was something similar, but like I've got no notifications about it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and just like all the fans dropped out this week, but it feels strange.
And that was for China, Taiwan, not Taiwan, China.
I think it's either way, back or forth, but as long as you're saying China and Taiwan and it's, audibly heard, I think it upsets. Like, we also said that Taiwan was the country. So maybe that was the sentence that upset them.
Hey, on Wikipedia, it says it's a country.
Sorry?
Yeah.
On Wikipedia, it said it was a country, but I like the fact that you're like, hey, maybe blur out every time I said this, and then you say it 45 more times.
Well, the time codes. You can cut this out. You're already doing some editing. I'm letting you know.
That's the bit.
Future reference for your podcast.
I like
China, Taiwan.
I like the benefit of the doubt that not that the Blackballed podcast was only worth 1/8, or talking about John Cena, who's a wrestler on your podcast.
Kind of China, Taiwan.
I mean, like any of that could be true. Maybe the episode before was just god awful and we lost viewers. I very much believe that. But it does feel weird, the timing. So for your future podcasts, whatever.
Okay. Oh Lord. And you can find me at Holden Pro, Brendan Caulfield on things. But most importantly, patreon.com/BrendanC. For $7 a month, you get way too many podcasts. You also get a private Instagram group chat that is just going off all the time. If you think you're the weird one from your group, congratulations. I have collected all the weird ones from all the groups, and now that's just my group. It's all just the weird ones, and it is the best. Bobby B, Gimpy is in there. Gimpy is literally in a line at the LCBO right now. He just talked, but he's muted.
Hold on. Before you go, I need you to say this for me.
Oh, no.
Mikhail Gorbachev.
I plead the fifth. Have a good morning, good afternoon, a good evening, and good night. Just have fun, stay safe, stay healthy, and pursuing happiness.